Not audible. This is an abridged reading of Dear Gratitude, an anthology, by its author, me, Chris Palmore, and by most of the other 50 authors that wrote for this book. If an author's writing resonates with you, they most likely have been interviewed on GratitudeSpace Radio, and I'll share the link to their interview in the show notes. The book in its entirety will be released weekly over the next year and can easily be found in digital and paperback versions on Amazon. And now, Dear Gratitude, an anthology. Chapter 1. Dear Gratitude. It took me 41 years to write you. Better late than never. I didn't really know about you till a few years back. The true revelation of your presence in my life came from a place of loss. It is true, we don't really appreciate the things we have until they are gone. I can tell you in this moment, with all my heart, that I choose not to live that way. I want to appreciate all the things and people now. I don't want to live with regret. I want to live in love. I didn't know it at the time, but you were there when I was born. I can recount the story my mom told me of my birth. She had lost who would have been my older brother a year or so before because of a premature birth. This time around, her new doctor made the call to have her sewed up so that I would arrive at the appropriate time. My mom chose to have stitches put in her body before I was even born. That's how much she wanted me to be in this world. I know that she had immense gratitude for the doctor's decision, as I am now grateful for the choices that were made only from the experience of true loss my parents had. They chose to spin the wheel again because they wanted a boy. I write this happy and healthy, 41 years later, with a little wear and tear. You were there when my heart was broken. You were there when I felt alone. You were there when I was disappointed. I didn't know it at the time, but the lesson, which took many repetitions, was learned. You have always been present. I can honestly look back and say that I'm grateful for all the sad moments of my life. I wouldn't change these memories or moments, for I am who I am because of them. You have allowed me to see all the love in my life and appreciate all the things that continue to work in my favor. When something doesn't go according to plan, I remember you are present. When anger or hurt bangs on my door, I know that at a moment's notice I could run into your arms. I thought this year I would get everything I wanted. Now I know this year is the year I get to appreciate everything I have. I know that if I start each day thanking you for the air I breathe and for a heart that keeps beating, I'll be ready for whatever comes my way. I strive to keep you always close and within my thoughts. I have all I need and so much more. This is the way it has always been. Thank you for being patient with this hard-headed student. I've always felt loved, but it took the acknowledgement of your presence for me to love myself. Chris Palmore, September 25th, 2020. Chapter 2. Are you listening? Words float around us all day long. Some we hear and others we completely ignore. We are often in our own world dealing with our own thoughts, and many words are often just noise, white noise, regardless of whether they are interesting or not. We never know when we're going to be present enough to hear something that we choose to actively listen to, then realize it resonates with us enough to put it into practice. In 2013, I helped my friend Corey drive from Louisville, Kentucky to his new home in San Francisco. One of the last nights I was there, Corey and I went to Cobb's Comedy Club, a historical comedy club where all the greats have played, to see Adam Carolla do his stand-up routine. The place was packed. Adam shared his story with pictures of his rise from rags to comfortable circumstance to eventually riches with humility and humor. It was really a motivational talk with comedy fully mixed into it. He mentioned his podcast, The Adam Carolla Show, at a time when the podcast was fairly new, and I made a mental note to look into it. Soon after, I started listening to Adam's podcast regularly. He had a new one 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. They ranged from 90 minutes to 2 hours. I walked around the house going through my morning routine with my earbuds on, listening to Adam, who brought the comedy but also shared some words of wisdom. That was an abridged reading of Dear Gratitude, an anthology. If this author's writing resonated with you, they most likely have been interviewed on GratitudeSpace Radio, and a link to their interview is in the show notes. The book, in its entirety, will be released weekly over the next year and can easily be found in digital and paperback versions on Amazon. I'll see you again soon in this space that is entirely reserved for gratitude. Gratefully yours, Chris Palmore.